The way you begin your day defines the trajectory of everything that follows. In the pursuit of becoming powerful and unrecognizable in just 1 week, mastering your morning is not optional. It's essential. The first hour of your day is the most sacred. It's the foundation upon which your physical energy, mental clarity, and emotional resilience are built. If you win the first hour, you set the tone to win the day. And if you win the day repeatedly, even for just 7 days, you'll begin to shift into a version of yourself you've never met before. Most people wake up and immediately give their attention away. To phones, to notifications, to problems that don't belong to them yet. But when you give your power away in the first moments of the day, you set yourself up to be reactive instead of proactive. That's not how powerful people operate. You have to own your morning like a warrior preparing for battle. That means creating a system, a ritual, a discipline that tells your mind and your body, we are in control. Start by waking up earlier than you're used to. It's not about the time on the clock. It's about claiming time before the world demands something from you. When you wake up early, you step into silence. That silence is where you hear your real thoughts. That's where you hear your inner voice, the one that's drowned out by the noise of the day. Use that silence to breathe, to think, to journal, to reflect. Write down your goals, your gratitude, your intentions. Not because it's a trendy habit, but because it trains your mind to focus on what matters. The body must also be brought into alignment. Physical movement, even something as simple as stretching or a quick high-intensity workout, tells your body, we are awake, we are alive, and we are strong. You are not meant to begin the day in stillness and fatigue. You are meant to move. Movement energizes the mind and unlocks discipline. And discipline is what separates the dreamers from the doers. Next, feed your mind. Powerful people don't just consume, they curate. Read something inspiring, listen to an empowering podcast, or consume information that challenges your thinking. You're not just getting ready for the day, you're preparing for transformation. You are literally rewiring your brain to become someone who leads with clarity and purpose. This is not about hype, it's about consistency. If you feed your mind the right inputs every morning, your thoughts will begin to shift. And your life is always a reflection of your thoughts. During that first hour, avoid distraction like your life depends on it. Because in many ways it does. No social media, no email, no news, the outside world can wait. You're building something more important, you. The moment you start checking what everyone else is doing, you stop focusing on who you're becoming. That first hour is sacred ground. Defend it with your life. Another crucial aspect of mastering your morning is setting intentions. Don't stumble into your day. Declare how it will unfold. What do you need to get done? Who do you want to be today? How do you want to show up in the world? Visualize it. Speak it out loud. Own it. Most people let life happen to them. Powerful people make life happen by choosing to live on purpose. They lead themselves before leading others. Hydration, nutrition, and even how you speak to yourself. All of these are pieces of the morning puzzle. Drinking water as soon as you wake up rehydrates your body and signals it to start performing. Eating something clean and energizing gives your body the fuel it needs to support your goals. And the way you speak to yourself, the internal dialogue you allow, is perhaps the most important piece. You cannot afford to begin your day with self-doubt, negativity, or comparison. Look in the mirror and remind yourself, I'm not who I was yesterday, and I'm not finished becoming who I'm meant to be. This first hour, repeated with focus and discipline over a few days, becomes a ritual of identity. You begin to see yourself differently. You start to act like someone who values their time, their energy, and their direction. The transformation doesn't begin with one big breakthrough. It begins with a decision to win your morning, to stop living by default and start living by design. If you can conquer yourself before the world has a chance to touch you, then there's nothing the world can throw at you that you can't handle. And this is the path to becoming powerful and unrecognizable in 1 week. Not magic, not chance, but mastery of your first hour over and over again. In the journey to becoming powerful and unrecognizable in just 1 week, there is a crucial decision you must make. You must silence the noise. Noise isn't just sound, it's distraction, clutter, and emotional pollution. It's the constant flood of opinions, comparisons, fear-based messaging, toxic relationships, and mindless entertainment. Noise is anything that pulls you away from your purpose, dulls your focus, and makes you forget who you're becoming. The truth is, most people stay stuck not because they're incapable of growth, but because they're too surrounded by noise to hear their own potential calling. Silencing the noise begins with identifying its sources. What are you consuming the moment you wake up? Who are you listening to when you're unsure? What kind of content fills your screen when you're bored? Every video, every post, every comment you read is either feeding your power or draining it. In just 1 week, if you remove these distractions intentionally and consistently, you will create mental space so clean and clear that your thoughts will finally have room to breathe. And when your thoughts breathe, your power begins to build. Start with your digital environment. Social media is not evil, but it's incredibly loud. It's designed to hook your attention, stir your emotions, and keep you scrolling endlessly. But power cannot be built when you're stuck watching someone else live their life. For 7 days, limit or eliminate your exposure to these platforms. Turn off notifications, log out if you must. That urge to check will come, but every time you resist, you're training your mind to reclaim control. You're choosing intention over impulse. Now think about your physical environment. Cluttered spaces create cluttered minds. Clean your room, organize your desk, clear out your phone, delete what you don't need. Minimalism isn't just about less stuff. It's about more space to think, to move, to create. In just 1 week of intentional decluttering, your mind begins to breathe again. You stop reacting to chaos and start directing your energy with focus. Then comes your emotional environment, perhaps the hardest one to confront. Who do you surround yourself with? Whose voice lives rent, free in your mind? There are people in your life who, even unintentionally, drain your energy with their fear, their small thinking, their criticism, or their constant negativity. You don't have to cut everyone off forever, but for this week, this one focused week, create distance. You owe it to yourself, create boundaries. If you're constantly defending your dreams, you're wasting energy you could be using to build them. Silence the critics, silence the doubters, let your results speak later. Equally important is the noise of your past. That voice that says you've tried before and failed. That whisper that tells you you're not enough. That inner dialogue built on mistakes and regret. You have to silence that voice, not by ignoring it, but by confronting it. Remind yourself, the past is not a life sentence. This version of you is new. This week is different because your mindset is different. Say it out loud if you have to. I am not who I was. I'm becoming someone powerful, someone focused, someone driven. Say it until you believe it, and say it even more when you don't. Noise also hides in your habits. Scrolling at night, gossiping out of boredom, watching content that adds no value. These patterns numb your mind and kill momentum. Replace those habits with silence, reading, writing, walking, or simply thinking. There is power in stillness. In that silence, ideas begin to surface, clarity returns, and direction becomes visible. You don't need more information. You need less noise and more space to act on what you already know. Silencing the noise is not about isolation. It's about elevation. You're not cutting things out to punish yourself. You're doing it to hear yourself again, to hear the voice of the version of you that's trying to rise. That voice is bold. It's focused. It's ready. But it can't compete with all the external distractions unless you make room for it. In just 1 week of discipline, of intentionally shutting out the noise and tuning into your inner world, you will begin to feel different. You'll move differently. You'll think clearer. You'll wake up with purpose, go to sleep with gratitude, and move through your day with momentum. The world might not notice it yet, but you will, and soon they will too. To become unrecognizable, you must separate yourself from the ordinary. And the ordinary is loud, chaotic, and distracted. You're choosing something higher now. You're choosing power, clarity, and focus. You're choosing to become someone the old version of you wouldn't even recognize. And it starts with one decision: silence the noise. In the pursuit of becoming powerful and unrecognizable in just 1 week, there is one truth you must accept early on. Motivation is unreliable. It fades, it wavers, it comes and goes depending on your mood, your circumstances, and your environment. If you want true transformation, you must stop chasing motivation and start building discipline. Discipline is what remains when motivation disappears. It's the internal contract you sign with yourself, the decision to do what needs to be done whether you feel like it or not. Most people wait until they're in the mood to take action. They wait to feel ready, inspired, or emotionally aligned. But the truth is, the version of you that's powerful, focused, and relentless doesn't rely on emotion. That version of you builds systems, that version builds habits, and those habits become the structure of your transformation. Discipline begins with clarity. You must know exactly what needs to be done every single day, not a vague intention like be productive or get better. Specific actions. Wake up at 5:30 a.m., work out for 45 minutes, read 10 pages of a book, drink 3 liters of water, plan your tasks. Execute without excuse. When your actions are clear, your discipline has something to anchor to. You're not waking up wondering what to do. You've already decided. That is power. Next, you must understand that feelings are not facts. You will not always feel like showing up. You will feel tired, distracted, lazy, or even discouraged. But that doesn't matter. Discipline is the voice that says, I hear how you feel, but we're doing it anyway. It's the muscle that gets stronger every time you act in alignment with your goals, even when your emotions try to pull you off course. In just 7 days of consistent discipline, you'll realize how much your feelings were lying to you. You'll realize you're capable of far more than you ever thought. A powerful way to strengthen discipline is through habit stacking. Connect your new discipline-based behavior to an existing habit. If you brush your teeth every morning, stack a new habit on top of that, like writing your daily goals right after. If you drink coffee, use that time to also reflect or plan. This technique eliminates decision fatigue. You're not trying to remember or force new behaviors, you're building them into your daily rhythm. Repetition breeds identity. Another essential part of discipline is removing the decision-making process entirely. Don't give yourself options. Don't say, should I work out today? Say, this is when I work out. Discipline thrives in structure and dies in indecision. Every time you debate whether to follow through, you invite weakness. Cut the debate. Build a system. Decide once and stick to it every day for a week. Tracking your actions is also a powerful tool. Use a journal or a habit tracker. Every day you follow through, mark it. That visual proof becomes a psychological trigger. It shows progress. It shows momentum, and momentum creates belief. When you see that you're keeping promises to yourself, something shifts inside. You stop seeing discipline as a burden and start seeing it as your superpower. Understand this. Discipline builds confidence. Motivation might hype you up, but it doesn't create self-respect. Self-respect comes from doing hard things, from showing up on the days you wanted to quit. Every time you follow through, you prove to yourself that you are trustworthy. You begin to believe in your own word. And that belief is the seed of power. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, but it's unshakable. In one focused week, discipline can change your identity. You stop being someone who tries, and start being someone who does. Your days become structured. Your thoughts become sharper. Your time becomes sacred. People will notice, you'll notice. The distractions that once tempted you will feel weak. The excuses you used to cling to will seem silly, because discipline doesn't just change your schedule, it changes your standard. To become unrecognizable, you need more than motivation. You need to do the work when no one's watching, when it's uncomfortable, when it's boring, when it's hard. You need to become the person who doesn't wait to feel right before acting. You act, and the right feeling follows. You act and transformation begins, so stop asking how to stay motivated. That's the wrong question. Start asking how to stay disciplined. That's the path, and if you walk it every day for 1 week, you'll unlock a level of power that motivation could never offer. You'll become someone your past self would barely recognize, and that's the goal. The environment you live in, work in, think in, and grow in has more influence on your identity than most people realize. If you truly want to become powerful and unrecognizable in 1 week, you must take complete ownership of your environment. That means your physical space, your digital space, your emotional atmosphere, and your daily routine. You must begin to dominate your environment before it dominates you. Because here's the truth. You can have the right mindset, the right goals, and the right intentions. But if your environment is not aligned with your transformation, it will sabotage your progress. Your environment is either supporting your growth or slowing it down. There is no neutral ground. Start with your physical space. Look around you, your bedroom, your desk, your home. Is it cluttered, chaotic, filled with distractions and unfinished tasks? Or is it clean, organized, purposeful, and empowering? You cannot expect to build a focused, disciplined, powerful version of yourself in a space that doesn't reflect those qualities. Clean your room, organize your workspace, remove anything that doesn't serve your purpose for the next 7 days. When your physical environment is intentional, it tells your brain, we're serious about this. This isn't just a temporary motivation spike. This is who we are now. Then move to your digital environment. What apps are on your phone? What do your notifications look like? Who do you follow on social media? Every image, every piece of content, every post you consume is shaping the way you think and feel. If your feed is filled with negativity, gossip, drama, or mindless entertainment, then that's what your mind is being trained to focus on. But if your digital space is filled with content that fuels your growth, books, podcasts, mentors, educational material, then your environment becomes a source of power. Unfollow, unsubscribe, delete, mute. Do whatever it takes to filter your digital space so that it aligns with who you want to become. Your emotional environment is perhaps the most powerful and most dangerous. Who are the people around you? Are they lifting you or limiting you? Are they encouraging your transformation or reminding you of who you used to be? In this 1 week of transformation, you must be ruthless about your emotional boundaries. You are not obligated to entertain every conversation, reply to every message, or absorb the energy of everyone around you. Protect your mind and your mood. You're not being rude. You're being responsible. You cannot elevate while being emotionally drained by people who aren't growing with you. This also includes how people speak to you and how you speak to yourself. Words carry power. If your environment is filled with criticism, sarcasm, self-doubt, or negativity, then you're living in a cage disguised as comfort. Change the tone of your environment. Speak life into your goals. Write affirmations. Listen to content that reinforces strength, clarity, and direction. Build an atmosphere that energizes your mission, not one that makes you question it. Another often overlooked part of your environment is your routine. What you do every day, where you do it, and how consistently you do it forms the structure of your identity. If your routine is scattered, your energy will be scattered. If your days are reactive, your results will be inconsistent. Create a schedule that protects your priorities. Block time for deep work, for physical training, for rest, for learning. Don't just hope you'll find time, make time. Your calendar is part of your environment, and if your time isn't being used with intention, your transformation will suffer. To dominate your environment also means to eliminate excuses. No more blaming the noise, the people, the platform, or the situation. Control what you can and let go of what you can't. Turn your environment into a performance zone. Turn your home into a headquarters for transformation. Even if you live in a noisy place or have limited space, there's always something you can control. Your headphones can block out noise. Your corner can be your sanctuary. Your mindset can decide what gets in and what stays out. You're not just rearranging your space, you're realigning your life. You're designing an environment that reflects the version of you that you're stepping into. Because when you surround yourself with order, clarity, and intention, your mind begins to mirror that. You stop just surviving the day and start engineering it. That's the shift. That's how people transform. Not by willpower alone, but by surrounding themselves with systems and spaces that make success inevitable. In just 1 week of dominating your environment, your life will begin to feel different, cleaner, quieter, sharper. You'll wake up feeling more in control. You'll move with more purpose. You'll notice you're not fighting against your surroundings anymore. You're flowing with them. And that shift, though subtle at first, is one of the most powerful forces in long-term transformation. To become unrecognizable, you have to create a world that no longer supports the old version of you. Remove what weakens you, surround yourself with what strengthens you, and watch how fast you rise. Transformation does not happen by accident. It happens by intention. If you want to become powerful and unrecognizable in just 1 week, you must learn to move with intent. Every step, every decision, every action must serve your transformation. You can no longer afford to act out of habit, impulse, or emotion. You must begin to live with a level of purpose and precision that most people never reach, not because they can't, but because they never chose to. Intentionality is what separates the driven from the distracted, the powerful from the passive. Intent means you don't just do something because it's what you've always done. You do it because it moves you forward, it aligns with your mission, it serves your future self. Every choice you make becomes a statement of who you're becoming. What time you wake up, what you eat, how you speak, what you consume, where your time goes, none of it is random. It's all either building your power or breaking it down. And when you move with intent, you begin to live like your time matters, because it does. Start paying attention to your daily actions. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? If you can't answer that with clarity and conviction, then it's time to stop. Too many people live on autopilot, stuck in cycles that no longer serve them. They scroll, they snack, they speak aimlessly. Then they wonder why nothing in their life changes. Change begins the moment you stop doing things mindlessly. It begins when you choose to act with focus, not just effort. Moving with intent also means understanding that small actions matter. The world teaches you to only celebrate big wins, money, status, achievements. But power is built in the invisible, in the quiet moments of discipline, in the tiny decisions made when no one's watching. It's choosing water over soda, it's opening a book instead of watching TV, it's pushing through a workout when you want to quit. These are not random acts. They are bricks in the foundation of your transformation. When you attach purpose to these actions, they stop feeling small. They start to feel powerful because they are. You must also begin to think with intent. Your thoughts shape your actions, and your actions shape your reality. Be intentional about what you allow yourself to dwell on. Negative thinking, overthinking, self-doubt. All of it weakens your foundation. Don't let your mind become a playground for fear. Redirect it. Speak life. Feed it with powerful content, focused questions, and future-driven vision. Ask yourself daily, what am I focusing on? Does it align with who I want to be by the end of this week? If not, let it go. You don't have time to entertain thoughts that don't serve your growth. Another critical piece of living with intent is emotional control. Powerful people don't let emotions dictate their behavior. That doesn't mean they suppress their feelings, it means they manage them. They pause before reacting. They ask, what outcome do I want in this moment? They choose responses that align with their vision. Emotional discipline is part of intentional living. If you're constantly reacting out of anger, frustration, or anxiety, you're giving your power away. Every moment you stay grounded, calm, and focused even under pressure is a moment you reinforce your new identity. Even your words must be intentional. What you say becomes what you believe. Speak with purpose. Speak truth. Don't use language that weakens you. I can't. I'm trying. I'm stuck. Replace those with power. I will. I am becoming. This is temporary. Your words are not just communication, they are declaration. Speak as if your future self is already listening. Moving with intent also demands that you say no more often. No to distractions, no to energy, draining people, no to anything that doesn't align with your mission. You can't say yes to your higher self while saying yes to every old habit. You must become selective with your energy. Your time is your most valuable resource. Spend it like it matters. Because when you do, everything changes. In just 1 week of living this way of moving, thinking, speaking, and acting with intent, you will feel a radical shift in your energy. You'll feel more in control, more focused, and more powerful than ever before. You'll stop drifting through your day and start directing it. You'll wake up with clarity and go to sleep with progress. People around you will notice the shift, even if they can't explain it. You won't just feel different, you'll be different. This is how transformation works, not through random effort, not through waiting, but through daily, relentless intention. If you want to become unrecognizable, if you want to step into the next version of yourself, then you must begin to live like every moment counts. Because it does. And when you do that for 7 straight days, you won't need to announce the change. The results will speak for you. ChatGPT said, the fastest way to become powerful and unrecognizable in 1 week is to outwork who you were yesterday. Not to compete with others, not to prove yourself to the world, but to beat the old version of you every single day. This mindset is the core of transformation. It shifts your focus from external validation to internal evolution. You stop looking sideways at who's ahead or behind and start looking straight ahead at the path you're building. Because the truth is, your only real competition is the version of you that's still making excuses, still stuck in the past, still playing small. Each day gives you a new opportunity to improve, but that opportunity means nothing if you don't act on it. To outwork who you were yesterday, you must first get brutally honest about who that person was. What did they avoid? Where did they waste time? What weaknesses did they accept as normal? What distractions controlled them? This honesty is the fuel for growth. You're not judging yourself. You're identifying the gaps. You're exposing the habits that need to be broken and the routines that need to be rebuilt. Then you set a standard for the new day, not based on how you feel, but based on who you're becoming. Outworking yesterday means pushing your limits not recklessly, but deliberately. If you worked out for 30 minutes yesterday, push for 35 today. If you read 10 pages yesterday, aim for 12 today. If you procrastinated for 2 hours yesterday, cut that time in half today. Growth isn't always about giant leaps. It's about consistent progression, 1 inch at a time, and those inches stack, day after day, until you look back and realize you've become someone entirely different. Outworking your past self requires structure. It means tracking what you do, reviewing it and refining it. Keep a daily log. What did you do well? What could have been better? What needs to be cut or replaced? This daily reflection creates self-awareness, and self-awareness is power. Without it, you're blind, you're guessing. But when you review your day with intent, you see clearly. You learn, you grow, and you use that information to plan how you'll beat that version of yourself tomorrow. There's no room for ego in this process. You must remain coachable even to yourself. That means accepting that you don't have it all figured out. That means being willing to change, to adapt, to evolve. The old you will try to hold on. That version will whisper, "You've done enough. You deserve to rest. You don't need to go that hard." But you're not listening to that voice anymore. You're not operating from comfort. You're operating from purpose. To outwork yesterday, you must also become more efficient with your time. Track it, audit it, protect it. Time is the only resource you can't get back, and how you use it defines how fast you transform. If you wasted 3 hours on distractions yesterday, reclaim that time today. If you spent your evening mindlessly scrolling, use that time tonight to study, to build, to reflect. Don't just work hard, work smart. Make your time matter. Energy management also plays a huge role. To work harder than you did yesterday, you must fuel your body and mind. That means proper sleep, clean eating, hydration, and movement. You can't outrun fatigue forever. Your energy is your edge. Protect it, replenish it. Build rituals that support high performance, because you can't outwork yourself if you're running on fumes. True power comes from sustainable discipline, not burnout. Your mindset must also evolve each day. Outworking your past self means upgrading your beliefs. Every time you overcome a limitation, you must mentally update your identity. You're no longer the person who quits when it's hard. You're no longer the person who avoids discomfort. You're no longer the person who needs motivation to act. You are the version of yourself who shows up no matter what. Say it to yourself, write it down, reinforce it constantly, because your mind must believe it before your body lives it. Finally, understand that this journey is not about perfection. You won't win every single battle. You'll have moments of weakness, fatigue, frustration. That's okay. The goal is not to be flawless, it's to be better. Even if today you only improve by 1%, you've already done more than the version of you who didn't try. And that effort, that consistent push to outwork the old you, is what builds the new you. At the end of each day, ask one question: did I beat who I was yesterday? If the answer is yes, even in a small way, then you're on the path. And if you do that for 7 days, with intention, focus, and relentless effort, you'll wake up a week from now and not recognize the person staring back at you. That's the power of progress. That's how transformation becomes real, not through comparison, not through shortcuts, but through the quiet, unshakable decision to outwork the old you, again and again until nothing of them remains.